Hello everyone, welcome to Cloud Institution. Today we are going to see one of the very important concept of AWS, which is AWS Elastic IP. Okay, so we are going to see what is AWS Elastic IP, and we are going to see some kind of a demo to implement how Elastic IP will be, really impacted, your environment, and also we are going to see that what is the importance of Elastic IP, right? Like so, how the Elastic IP will be saving your production environment by getting your instance down. Okay, so first of all, let's see what is um, Elastic IP. Okay, so what is Elastic IP? So Elastic IP address is the static public IPv4 address designed specifically for the dynamic nature of the cloud computing. So what do you mean by this one is that, so you know the public IP, right? So you know the public IP in EC2 instances. So those public IP will be, the dynamic IPs. So dynamic IP means, like, so whenever you're assigning to that to your instances, that IP addresses will be there until your instances will be restarted. Okay, so or your instances will be terminated. So once you terminate the instances, or if you restart your instances, that IP address will be disappear. Okay, so if you restart your instance, the new IP will be assigned to a particular EC2 instance. Okay, so but not that Elastic IP. The Elastic IP is the static public IP. Means, so once you assign the Elastic IP to your instances, so until you release it, it will never be changed. It will never be disappear from the instances, right? So that's what the second point is all about. The Elastic IP address is a reserved public IP address for that, so that you can assign to any instance in a particular region until you choose to release it. And one more another important concept what we are going to see here today here is that, the Elastic IP can be reusable IP, so which means that you can attach Elastic IP to one or more instances. Okay, if you want to assign to one IP, you can assign this Elastic IP into it, and then if you don't want to assign it, so you can just release it, and then if you wanted to assign that public IP address into some other instances, still you can do it. Okay, so that is the beauty of the Elastic IP. Okay, we're going to see some kind of a very interesting demo that we are prepared for this for this video. So as you can see here, this is my AWS console. I have one instance is running, right? So we have already seen in the last few sessions that how these instances are created, and now I'm going to now I'm going to see the how the instances are associated with IP address. So now I've deployed one web server. Okay, that web server is running one web application. So that application is going to be one of our resumes. Okay, so for example, if you can open this IP address in your browser, so it will give me kind of a web page resume. So web based resume. So this resume is being, this resume is a HTML format that is being hosted inside this instance. So we have seen this demo in the last videos, right? So please refer to the previous videos that how to how to host your own HTML files, in the web, in the EC2 instances, right? So now I have this, the public IP addresses will be working from here. And also in the earlier sessions we have seen how to migrate, the your domain from GoDaddy to Route 53, right? So after we migrated it, we have hosted our website in Route 53 hosted zones. For example, what we have done is that we have created a record. Okay, so and that record of a record will be pointing to the same IP addresses of the EC2 instances, right? This is the public IP address of the instance. So as you can see here, so this is 43.204.144.65, and here also 43.204.144.65. So both are, I'm pointing out this so this IP address to the this domain name. Okay, so how it's happening is that we have seen in the last session that, so we have the route 53 is pointing the A record of the public IP address of this EC2 instances. That is how the entire process is working. Now what happened? Okay, so now what happened if you can go and uh, if you can go and access this IP address, access this domain, so this domain, right? So this is the domain. I'm going to access this domain in the browser. Okay, so now it's working in the same, the same web page, because the reason why is that we have the same IP address has been, so as you can see here, the same IP addresses is being created a record of this particular IP addresses, right? So that is the reason why we are able to resolve this, so this instance with the URL, so this is the URL, the domain name. So with the domain name, we'll be able to access this particular resume. Okay, so now it's clear, right? So now we are going to see how the elastic IP will comes into the place. Okay, so whenever we are working on this kind of infrastructure, for example, I'm running in the real time. If you can see, I'm running on this. No, I'm just deployed my own application in EC2 instance, right? So let's say, for example, this is a mission critical application. You don't want that application to be go down anytime. Okay, so now by mistake or somehow, due to over CPU utilization or anything, any kind of reasons, so instance is getting restarted. For example, instance is getting stopped. Okay, so I'm going to stop the instance just to make sure that the entire process is getting stopped. Okay, now we can see 43.204.144.65 is the IP address which has been assigned to this instance. Okay, so now the instance is getting stopped. It's still stopping. Okay, so as soon as it's stopped. Okay, now because it is stopping, right, like so if you can see, go and see this kind of a IP address. If you do it, then it's, as you can see here, it's just loading, right? So as I can just go and do the same website over here, then it's not going to work. Okay, the reason being this IP address is because the instance is getting stopped. Okay, so that is the reason why the IP address is not working. So as you can see, the IP address has been, the public IP addresses, whatever you've assigned, is being released. Okay, now shall we go and check the the instance webs hiring jobs.in. Okay, this is still working, but it is working from the cache, right? So because we have a cache, the DNS usually will be having a cache, so it's working from the cache. So now what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to create a incognito window, maybe here, new private window. As you can see here, this is not working at all again. So this is not working again. So the reason why is that the DNS name, the DNS is been pointing out the, okay, so I'm going to close this one. Okay, so the DNS is been pointing out, so this is the older one, this is not working. So the DNS has been pointing out to the A record for this particular IP addresses. Okay, so whenever, because of this instance stopped, this is not working. Okay, so this is actually expected. Okay, there is no issue with this one. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start the instance. Okay, I'm going to start the instance again. So theoretically, so in general, what we expect is that we should be getting the same IP addresses, so that everything will be working as usual. Okay, but the surprise what's happening is here is that the IP address is getting changed. Okay, as you can copy here, this one, and if you can put it near to this one, you can compare it. So previously it was 43.204.144.65. Now it's 13.233.152.215. Okay, so because of this, this system is not going to work. Okay, so now what are we going to do now is that we are going to start the service again, because I have not enabled the HTTP services during the boot up. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to enable the HTTP service, and from then on this public IP address should be working. Okay, now it's establishing a connection. I think it's taking some time because just now this instance has been rebooted. Okay, let's wait for a while until this instance is being up. Okay, so yeah, I think it is taking some time. So the concept, okay, I'm just going to close this one, and I'm going to close this one as well, and I'm going to start it again, refresh it, and start it again, connect it. Well, it's all good. Okay, now I'm going to do system, okay, sudo system ctl start httpd, Okay, started. Now I'm going to copy the IP address of this machine and I'm going to paste it over here. Then the resume will be working from the new IP address. Okay, now for time being, I'm also going to enable the HTTPD service. So what you will be enable? So when you enable it, so during the boot up by the next time, so it won't ask you for the start the HTTPD again. Okay, by default it should work. Now what I have to do is I have to copy this IP address and I have to change the record. I have to edit the record. I have to paste it this one like this. Now it should work. Okay, but so now it should work and it all should be working fine, right? So there's no problem at all. So what if your instance is going down again? Okay, so now your instance is going down again and the IP address will keep getting changed. So is it something like you have to go to DNS and changing it every time? No, right? So the actual solution is not the same. Okay, so now what I have to do is that is the reason why we have the elastic IP addresses in place. Okay, so we are having the elastic IP address. So you can go down the networking setting, network and security, and go to elastic IP. You can just allocate elastic IP for you. Okay, just click on this one and allocate elastic IP. Okay, so allocate. Okay, this IP address has been allocated. So as you can see, the IP address is allocated is going to be 65.1.178.106. Okay, so that is the elastic IP is being got allocated. So it's been created under AP South 1. Okay, just to make sure that your instance is also been created in AP South 1. Okay, so now let's okay, so AP South 1B is the place where it is created. Now let's go and see whether or we are able to associate this instance with this IP address or not. Okay, so now action, associate IP addresses. Okay, the instance. Okay, so instance is running over here. Okay, so we got to see this instance, whatever the instance is running. Instance is running like 524. So now attaching it, the private IP address is going to be this one. So okay, so associate. Okay, so we don't need any other options to be enabled. Now as you can see, so this is the IP addresses of this machine. If you can go back to here, previously it was the IP address, right? 13. If you refresh now, okay, now the IP address got changed to the elastic IP addresses. Now this is the elastic IP addresses for your instance. Okay, now I'm going to copy this elastic IP addresses and then I'm going to this record, I'm going to this here, and I'm going to edit record and I'm going to give this particular IP address of this machine. I'm going to save it. All right, okay, so everything is good. Now I have given elastic IP addresses for this particular machine, so now it should work. Now what I'm going to do again, I'm going to copy this IP address and I'm going to paste it in the browser to check whether the elastic IP address is resolving my website or not. Okay, so it is resolving my website. Okay, now similarly I wanted to access the website from here, hiringjobs.in. Okay, so now I'm just opening this one and I'm just closing. So now it's working perfectly. Okay, so because we have assigned elastic IP for this machine, okay, so both elastic IP will be working. Now here comes this real scenario, right? So now what happens is that I'm going to restart the instance again and I'm going to see whether this elastic IP is going to be released or not. Now as you can see here, instance state, okay, stop instance. Okay, I'm not going to reboot instance. Sometimes it'll be very quick, so I just wanted to stop the instance completely and make sure that is all the processes are down, and then I wanted to start it again. Okay, so that is the thing what I'm going to do here. It got stopped. Okay, so as you can see, is the instance is stopped, still the public IP address has not been changed or is not been removed. Okay, so now is we are just only the okay, so now it's been stopped, that's why it's not been running in the tag. So now as you can see here, this IP address has never been changed. Okay, so hope you understand the concept of elastic IP, right? So what is the real-time scenario of why you need elastic IP to be assigned for the mission critical application just like production environment, all these things, you have to have kind of elastic IP that never be changed. Okay, now the instance is stopped. Okay, obviously this IP address is not going to work because it's working from a cache. It's fine. Okay, still is working from a cache, right? Because we know that I know this is the IP address is going to be. And if I can go to the incognito window, so now as expected it's not working because it has been stopped. Okay, but this one is working from the cache. Okay, and this one as well, right? So now I'm going to start the instance again. Okay, it is pending. Okay, now it is running. Okay, it's like it takes a fraction of seconds to uh, make the instance running. So now I'm copying this instance. I'm copying the instance IP addresses, and I'm going to the incognito window again, and then I'm going to paste it. Oh yeah, see, before we pasted it, it's already working because that is the power of the elastic IP. Okay, this is always be ready to host your application. So now eventually, if you can go and access your website, even now is going to be working as a charm. Okay, so this is the advantage of the elastic IP address. Okay, so what is the now from with this so classes, we have seen what is elastic IP addresses, what is what is public IP addresses, how it's going to be working. Okay, so hope you understand it. In the next session we are going to see some other topic, right? So if you like this video, and please follow us. And so we are the best training provider in Bangalore. And so if you like to take any kind of a courses with us, and please reach out to us on this number. Okay, and also you can just follow our YouTube, I mean subscribe to our channel, and follow our Instagram and Facebook. And you can just call to this number if you wanted to inquire any kind of a courses. Okay, thank you so much, and let's meet in the next video. Okay, thank you.